Hello, I'm Sean, your Move Madman, and I'm back. I'm back again. Hello. Today we're starting a new subject again. Hopefully we'll keep this going each Friday. We'll see how we go. Today we're talking about the Oscar bait films for this year. So I'm going to begin with Empire of Light. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, Empire of Light, I thought you was talking about films that were nominated for Oscars. What's your attitude? Alright, it was nominated for an Oscar, okay? It was nominated for Best Cinematography. So, stop saying that it's not nominated for Oscars, because it was. Olivia Colman wasn't nominated for Best Actress for the first time in a while. Michael Wood wasn't nominated for Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor. Neither was Colin Firth or Toby Jones. So that was a little bit rude that none of the acting in this film was credited for or recognised. I thought that was a little bit harsh / out of order, considering how much effort all four of those people put into those roles. You will never ever look at Colin Firth in the same way ever again after seeing the character that he plays in this film. It was not something I would ever have expected to see Colin Firth do. I was just a bit like, whoa, Colin Firth, bit of a bad guy in this one, he was. So that was a shock to me. Directed by Sam Mendes. No Oscar nomination for Sam Mendes, the guy that made 1917 and American Beauty. Nah, we're not gonna nominate you for an Oscar either. Rude. Sorry, Sam. If I was nominating people for Oscars, you would have got a nomination from me. So sorry, Sam. Maybe you should write to the Oscar people and have a word and be like, you know, I'm Sam Mendes, right? I made 1917 and American Beauty. Nominate me for an Oscar, you bellends. Rude. So to start with, when I went into this film, I had absolutely no idea that the Empire part of Empire of Light, the title that is, the Empire, was a reference to Empire Cinemas. So that was interesting for me. Seeing that Empire Cinemas were around in the 80s, I didn't know that. So that was a new thing for me. I thought Empire started in 2006, but apparently they didn't. Apparently Empire Cinemas have been around for a lot longer than that, so it shows that I know nothing about the history of cinema. But I'll tell you what, go watch Empire of Light. Go watch Empire of Light. Set in the beginning of the 80s, and you get to see a little bit about how the cinema was in the 80s. It was a beautiful little look at what it's like working in a cinema from lots of different perspectives of working in the cinema. So I quite enjoyed that. Having worked in a cinema myself, it was really nice to see a film about working in the cinema. So I quite liked that side of it. It was good because you had a little look in projection as well, and a little bit about how cinema films are projected and the clipping together and all that sort of thing. It was all really interesting to me. Obviously, with the film being set in early 80s England, it's obviously set at a period of time where the world is just really racist, and there's a black guy who goes to work at the cinema that the film is set in. He's one of the main characters in it, and I think the idea of the story is showing how in a time like that, when the world was just horrible, how someone can accept someone else no matter what other people's opinions were. I think that was more what the film was trying to get across in the first place. The fact that this English white woman was able to have a relationship with this black man during a time when white versus black was a very big thing, a very racist thing back in those days. There is, without spoiling too much of the film, there is a lot of parts in the film where you see white people having a go at black people. Pretty sure black guy gets beaten up a couple of times, and it is very heavy to sit through some of that, because to me it just felt like it was unnecessary, because obviously the world isn't so much like that now. So when you watch something of what it was like, you're just like, that's really harsh. And then you realise that that sort of stuff was probably just watered down for the film, and it's probably a lot worse than it actually is depicted in this film. But it really hit me a little bit. There were a few little moments there that proper welled me up, just seeing how horrible white people actually can be, just because someone looks a little bit different to them. You know, grow up, you know, stop being racist, you bellends. Obviously the world has grown up a little bit since then. Shot wise, it looks amazing. I haven't obviously been able to see this in 4K yet, because it's not out in 4K, but I did see it in the cinema, and it does look beautiful, and it was shot beautifully. I was very happy to see that the one Oscar that it was nominated for was Best Cinematography. Out of all of the films that I've seen this year that have been nominated for Oscars, Empire of Light is definitely one of the best cinematography films that I've seen in a while. So I was really happy to see that in that category. Quite why Olivia Colman wasn't nominated for Best Actress, I don't know. I'm pretty sure every film I've seen her in, she puts her heart and soul into each of those parts, and she just gives it her all. Pretty sure she's won an Oscar at least once, and I know she's been nominated more than once, so I was quite surprised to see that she wasn't nominated for this. But Colin Firth didn't get nominated for an Oscar. They can give him an Oscar when he's playing the king, but besides that, they're not interested. They're like, sorry Colin, you pull off, we don't care. Again, it was one of those films that I've never seen Colin Firth step out of his normal character boundaries quite so much, but that was brilliant. I mean, after seeing him in Kingsman, you're just like, oh, Colin Firth, he's capable of anything. So it was interesting to see him playing the antagonist a little bit in there as well. But yeah, I don't want to ruin the film. It's a beautiful film about building relationships, no matter what is going on in the world at the time. So some people would just be like, that sounds like the most boring thing ever. And yeah, some people will find it boring. You know, boring people will find it boring. Or, you know, people that don't like dramas, because it's very dramas. There's no blue beams going up in the sky. You know, there's no gauntlets or anything like that. This is just a normal drama with acting and feeling, which is sometimes is perfect for a film. It's not always the film that you're in the mood for, but sometimes you just need a film like this. And that was one of the things that I really liked about it. I was like, do you know what? This is what we need right now. We don't need constant sequels. We wanted something original, and this was nice and original. So I really enjoyed it. When that film comes out on Blu-ray and 4K, I will be getting that, and I'll be showing you it a bit more, and I'll probably talk about it in a bit more detail, because it won't be as new. But that's all I'm going to talk about Empire of Light today. My first Oscar bait film this year. So thanks for that. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to fuck off. Okay? Goodbye.